So I got off work early and decided to go watch some male strippers. That is a sentence I never thought I would speak out loud in my life. Hello once again, watchers of good movies. My name is Nick Pell and this is once again coming from my apartment. So today we are going to be talking about the film Magic Mike XXL. This is the sequel to the, I think, 2012 film, I think, is when the first one came out. I just recently watched that one just for preparation for this one. Link to that review down here. It's more of a written one, spoilery. But this is the sequel. It takes place 3 years after the events of the first one. Channing Tatum has his own business. He has an employee. He is basically on his own. He's out of the stripping game. We saw him leave the stripping game at the end of the first Magic Mike. He had a girl and he had basically his whole life. He's like, alright, I'm gonna do this now, and now it's 3 years later. And one of the issues that I had with the first film is that it seemed like they relied so much on just the dances and the performances to, in theory, draw people into the theater, particularly women, that they just had a lot of stripping that wasn't really essential to the plot. This film does a much better job on limiting the amount of stripping, mainly until the very end of the film, and focusing more on the characters. Because the first hour, I don't think there's a single strip scene that I can think of. And they focus more on the characters, what they've been doing, what Channing Tatum has been up to since the first film. And they focus more on the comedy. There's a scene where they send one of them in to kind of like seduce a girl, you see it in the trailer, with some dance moves, and it's hilarious. There's a lot of good comedy in this film that they rely on, not just by stripping, but they use the stripping as a way to use the comedy, and it works really, really nicely because the film doesn't rely on that. It's not the thing that's holding the movie up to make it good. It's working really nicely because of that. One thing I was kind of worried about is because they don't have like the main star from the first one or his sister in this film. I was like, oh, what are they going to do with that? How are they going to write them off? They should do a decent job with it. I won't really spoil what happens because, man, like the sister, it's kind of a big thing. But I was okay with how they wrote off those characters. I thought it was fine. It worked. They didn't dwell on it for too terribly long. And it's mainly Channing Tatum's character who really has to deal with it, and I thought that it was kind of dealt with right. It kind of fit in with his motivations, and yeah, worked nicely. The film does slow down a bit for like 10-15 minutes after the first hour. They get to this nightclub, which is the first place that they meet Jaden Smith, and the interactions with her are fine because it's like, oh hey, moving the plot along, yeah. But they just have these really unnecessary dance scenes where it's like 3 minutes just focusing on one person doing a striptease dance, and I mean, okay, whatever, but it had no relevance to the plot whatsoever, and it just felt really drawn out and way overstayed its welcome for my taste, at least. Once that part is done, and then kind of move on, the rest of the film is fine. It has good pacing, it's funny, and they use kind of the sit-down moments to a really good effect. It's just that one, like, 10-15 minute segment, which I didn't really prefer that much. It's just really, really slow, and it's had no real reason for being there aside from just interactions with Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada Pinkett Smith, just touching on her really quickly, just by the end of the film, you could tell she is just having so much fun with the role. I could just tell that in the instant that she walked on stage. It was just fantastic, and having mainly known her from Gotham, this is a very different side of her, and it's much more energetic and more exciting, and I honestly kind of enjoyed this side of Jada Pinkett Smith. You could tell she was having a blast with the role. I also liked that there wasn't really a villain in this film. They kind of, at the beginning, they kind of almost set it up that there's going to be kind of like a jealousy type of rivalry, which was going to become some sort of villain-esque situation. Nothing like that happened. The situation gets sorted out right away, and then it's just basically a road trip film with no real big things that happen which kind of tear the group apart, per se. That is kind of a standard thing with these road trip movies, or this like group going out to some competition. Something happens which splits everyone up, get it back together, and then they do the last hurrah. Nothing like that happens in this film, and I enjoyed that because it kind of veered away from the stereotypical events which are supposed to happen, and it made it its own. It had fun with it, and it just kept everyone together, and it worked really, really well, and I really liked that. One of the things that I did praise the first film on is its choreography. The dances are just fantastic to watch, even if they're teasing. There is one scene at the beginning with Channing Tatum where he's just kind of doing like a stripper or like a dance routine on his own. I couldn't tell if it was like CGI'd in there because it looked very, very flashy and kind of fake. If it's real, then fantastic job to him. But it just looks so ridiculous that it didn't seem real to me. The rest of his stuff looks really, really nice. Mainly the finale, each guy kind of has his own routine, and they all look really, really good. It's all choreographed really nicely, and it looks fantastic. The finale is easily the funnest part of the movie, and you get to see kind of the unique personalities of all these people. That said, after like the grand finale, it just kind of ends. Just like, done. Credits. No idea if there will be a third one. If there's not a third one, and this is indeed the finale of Magic Mike, I thought it kind of ended it pretty well. They got their last hurrah as a group, and it worked really, really nicely. And I enjoyed this movie, surprisingly. If you had asked me a week ago if I would really enjoy the Magic Mike franchise, I probably would tell you no, it's probably going to be really dumb. I watched the first film, I enjoyed it for the most part. I watched this one, I think I liked it even more than the first one. So, those are my thoughts on Magic Mike XXL. It is pretty good. If you enjoyed the first one, you'll enjoy this one. If you just want to see guys strip down to their very well in shape bodies, go see that too. But if it's not your thing, don't go check it out. Go watch Terminator instead. So, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Did you like the film as much as I did? Did you hate it more than I did? Let me know. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Once again, if you so choose, I appreciate it immensely. And as always, my people, my name is Nick Pell. And once again, keep on watching.